In 2023, Tesla started buying batteries from a company its own founder once laughed at, live on American television. That company was BYD, and the man behind it had never even held a driver's license. This is the story of one engineer's contrarian bet and how it quietly rewired the global car industry. In 1995, Wang Chuanfu was 29 years old, working as a battery engineer in China. He borrowed $40,000 from a cousin and rented a small workshop in Shenzhen. His plan was simple: build rechargeable batteries and build them cheaper than anyone else. Within 7 years, his company was supplying batteries to Motorola and Nokia. By 2003, it had become the largest battery manufacturer in the world.
That same year, Wang did something that made no sense to anyone watching. He took his battery profits and bought a bankrupt, state-owned car factory. His own investors tried to stop him. The company's stock dropped sharply within days of the announcement. Industry analysts called it reckless. A battery manufacturer with no experience in cars, wading into one of the most capital-intensive industries on Earth. But Wang had a theory nobody else was betting on. He believed the future of the automobile wouldn't be defined by the engine. It would be defined by the battery inside it. And if that was true, then the company that understood batteries best had no reason to fear the car industry at all. It would take 15 years for the rest of the world to take that theory seriously.
During those 15 years, while his cars were dismissed by journalists and his ambitions were mocked by competitors, Wang made 3 specific decisions. Each one seemed strange at the time. Together, they would become nearly impossible for anyone else to copy. The first decision: refuse to depend on outside suppliers. While most car manufacturers relied on a global web of third-party parts, batteries from one company, chips from another, electronics from a dozen more, Wang's company built almost everything in-house. Batteries, semiconductors, motors, even the software running the dashboard. This looked inefficient until it didn't. When a global shortage of computer chips paralyzed car manufacturers everywhere in 2021, most companies were forced to halt production. Wang's company simply increased output from its own chip factories and kept building.
The second decision: bet on hybrids, while the rest of the industry chased pure electric vehicles. In wealthy markets with abundant charging infrastructure, a hybrid looked like a compromise, a car that couldn't fully commit to the future. But across most of China, charging stations were scarce outside major cities. For hundreds of millions of potential customers, a hybrid wasn't a compromise. It was the only realistic option. While competitors debated whether hybrid technology even mattered, Wang's company quietly became one of the best-selling hybrid manufacturers on the planet, gaining access to a market of consumers that pure electric vehicle makers simply couldn't reach yet. The third decision closed the loop. In 2020, the company released a new kind of battery, built on a different chemistry than the industry standard. It used iron and phosphate instead of the more common nickel and cobalt blend. It was cheaper to produce, it was significantly more resistant to catching fire, and it lasted longer under repeated charging.
That combination mattered more than it first appeared. It meant the company could sell vehicles at a lower price while genuinely claiming a safety advantage most competitors couldn't match. 4 years later, Tesla began purchasing batteries from that same company for use in its own vehicles. The engineer who once couldn't get a meeting taken seriously was now supplying the industry's most famous electric car maker. None of this happened by accident, and none of it happened quickly. It happened because one person made a specific bet about where value would eventually concentrate, and then spent 15 years building toward that bet, while almost everyone else was looking somewhere else entirely. The lesson isn't really about batteries, or cars, or even this one company. It's about what happens when someone identifies the actual center of gravity in an industry, years before anyone else agrees it's there. Wang didn't outmarket his competitors. He didn't move faster in the traditional sense. He simply understood, a decade early, which part of the car would end up mattering most. Everyone else was trying to build a better version of what already existed. He was building toward what came next.